Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Exploring Photography right here on Adorama TV, brought to you by Adorama. It's the camera store that has everything for photographers and vloggers and adventure travel people like Kevin McCuiston, who is joining me here. Actually, I'm sort of joining you. We have a friend in common. Kevin is the founder, videographer, writer, editor, producer of Lifestyle Overland. So can you just tell us what the heck that is?
Well, Lifestyle Overland is the story of myself, my wife, and my 6-year-old daughter in our travels through North America. We've been from the Gulf Coast to the Arctic Coast and back again, and now we're sharing all our adventures.
So I have to admit, in the past year, 2 years or so, through a mutual friend of ours, this is how we met, Keith, I have become addicted to overland travel videos, and Kevin is one of the best out there at creating these videos. And you shoot stills, is that correct?
I shoot stills, 4K, 1080, I shoot it all.
You shoot everything? Drone footage?
Drone footage.
Slow-mo footage?
Lots of slow-mo.
Audio voiceovers?
Yes.
You edit your own stuff?
Edit everything.
You upload your stuff from the road?
I try.
Okay, this is insane, the amount of stuff that you do. And so I know that you've gotten a lot of questions about how the heck you do it, what do you use, and that's really what we want to talk about in this video today. So if you're a vlogger, I wouldn't say you're a vlogger, you're more of a filmmaker, I would say.
I lean towards National Geographic unless
I would agree.
That.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't see a lot of you with the GoPro walking around, but you've got some epic footage from places like north of Sedona, up in Alaska. You've got slow-mo footage, you've got drone footage, things that years ago I think would have been on national television, right. National Geographic, but you do it all yourself. So can you tell us some of the strategies and the gear, that kind of stuff?
Well, so basically, I'm not a professional videographer, photographer. I would be embarrassed if I tried to discuss some of the science behind all of this, and so I've really been learning as I go. So I went with the Panasonic GH5s. These are really user-friendly, but then it allows me to also expand my capabilities as I get more and more proficient with the capabilities of the camera.
And
so,
you have two exactly the same GH5s?
And the reason for this was there's a saying, 2 is 1, 1 is none when you're traveling in deep remote locations. So I didn't want to get into Alaska or the Northwest Territories of Canada, have a camera issue, and then, the shoot's just blown. So having 2 of these is it's been good for backup, but the big advantage is having 2 separate lenses where I can set up one drive-by with the vehicle.
Okay, let's stop right there.
Right.
Because a lot of people are not. So maybe you could first explain what the heck is overlanding.
Okay.
Because we're an audience of photographers, so
sure.
We don't know what that is. First,
sure.
Tell us what that is, and then tell us what the heck a drive-by is.
Okay. So overlanding is basically vehicle-dependent travel. The challenge is to outfit your rig with all of the necessary equipment to go into remote locations, sometimes very rough roads, to be able to extract yourself, care for yourself, and bring it all back home. And so
it's like the Oregon Trail, but now.
Exactly. So that's kind of the challenge, and then we get to go see a lot of places that people don't see because it's not a paved road. We get to see the behind the scenes of nature, and so it's really an enjoyable adventure.
Okay, so let's get back, and I also want to talk about season 1, but we'll get to it.
Okay.
Because there's some epic footage that I hope all of you will watch. So you've got 2 identical GH5s, but not 2 identical lenses. Tell me about the lenses you're using and why.
Okay, so this first lens right here is a 7-14, and I typically use that for my quote-unquote vlog or talking head. It's also great inside the vehicle, so we can mount this on the dash. We can flip it forward to watch the scenery, or we can flip it back to talk to the camera and explain what we're doing.
And how do you mount this thing in your vehicle?
So every one of these cameras has a Manfrotto quick connect plate. All my tripods have an exact match to that. And they even make a base plate I was able to mount to the dash of the 4Runner, so it's really handy that everything interchanges.
That is fantastic. And so you mentioned doing a drive-by before. Is that what you call it?
Yes.
what the heck is that for people who don't know?
So basically, you set up your shot. Maybe there's some epic background, or maybe there's a really nasty piece of the trail where you want to get some good articulation of the vehicle coming through the rocks. And so I'll go and I'll set up maybe a really low shot using the Joby tripod, and possibly a driving away shot with one of the taller tripods. And so it really allows me, since we're shooting it all ourselves, it allows us to get a lot of content with less effort than it would with a single camera.
And how important is it? So I've also done a lot of travel, and one of the biggest problems for me is setting up a drive-by. Setting up a tripod on the side of the road in a place, you're in less populated areas than I think, but my thing is somebody's going to steal it. Sure. But turning it on, driving to wherever, driving past the camera, turning back around, coming back, grabbing it, putting it back. So how long does it take you to actually do that?
It's actually not as bad as you think. The good news is my wife Sarah hates the cameras. And so she actually drives the rig 95% of the time, even through some of the nasty trails and stuff that we tackle. That allows me to run ahead on the trail or to run back and grab cameras. So it's been a really good team for her to have that capability to allow me to focus on the content.
Fantastic. And this other lens here, this is a 12 to 60.
Right.
And this is used for what?
So that's going to be all my B-roll. So any slow motion shots that you see, landscape shots, things like that are going to come from that lens.
I also noticed, so you've got a Rode VideoMic on both of these, but this guy here is the inexpensive, sort of quick down and dirty. This is the Rode, it's the Pro version.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Why do you have two different microphones?
That wasn't intentional. This is a recent addition to the kit. Usually I would only run the mic on the camera for talking head. If I just want to talk about where we were located.
What a beautiful camping area. What a beautiful place. I'm stoked. This is awesome.
But I added this to the kit with the intentions of using the GoPro 7 moving forward, because I was impressed with the stabilization. Still in the process of learning how I want to use that. I
have noticed that in a lot of your videos you have buttery smooth, slow motion, you've got really smooth handheld shots. So I don't see a gimbal here. So how are you stabilizing your footage?
The GH5, it's quite incredible, to be honest with you. So it has lens stabilization, a sensor stabilization, and then also has electronic stabilization. So that's one of the main reasons I went with this camera, even though Sony has better low light capabilities and possibly even a better picture quality in my opinion. This works well for what we do because we're bouncing around in a car, or maybe I'm running alongside the trail.
This is the Mavic Pro, not the 2, it's the first edition, is that correct?
That's correct.
And what are you doing with this guy?
So a lot of times we'll use this for just incredible landscape. Again, the vehicle will be in motion. My wife Sarah will be driving, and then I'll utilize the controller with the large tablet so I can ensure that I'm getting the right exposure and capturing the frame the way that I want it.
So how do you record your audio? Because you've got voiceovers, you've got onboard microphones, but I noticed you have two Zoom, what are these, H1s?
H1s, yeah.
These are fantastic. I've used these for years, but why two?
In case I want to sit down and interview someone, and sometimes if we're in a vehicle, there's a lot of road noise, and I like to bring that into a more personal level so it's easier to edit and post. So we'll mic up both people in the passenger and driver seats going down the road.
All of this footage, are you shooting 4K, 1080?
It depends on the situation. I like to shoot all of my wildlife stuff in 4K, and then I'll even throw on this telephoto lens here. This is a 100 to 300, and really have captured some beautiful moments with grizzly bears, muskox, caribou, some really beautiful, beautiful animals of North America.
My sort of frame of mind is to take the lightest tripod you can when you're traveling. These feel like the heaviest tripods you could possibly get.
Right.
Why? Why do you have such heavy tripods?
Primarily just for wind. The lighter the tripod, the easier it is for the whole thing to blow over, and we travel in some fairly extreme weather from time to time, so having that weight gives me a sense of security whenever I'm setting up a shot.
Okay, so it's just, and these guys can go low, high, and they're just sort of industrial strength. And because they're not the super lightweight, they're not incredibly expensive.
That's right. These are very affordable.
And we could talk for another hour or two about all of this stuff because it really fascinates me. We don't have that much time in this episode.
Right.
But you've got a YouTube channel and an Instagram channel where you upload behind the scenes footage as you're traveling, all of that stuff, so people can actually contact you directly and see the stuff and get some cool merch. So again, where do people find you?
So you can find us on YouTube. Just search Lifestyle Overland. We're on Instagram, Facebook as well. Our supporters, if you're looking for behind the scenes footage or maybe even GPS coordinates if you want to go out and take your own adventure, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/lifestyleoverland. And that's
all of those links are in the description of this video. And I just have to warn everybody, if you start watching these videos, it's going to be a binge watch. So get some coffee and get ready because it's really epic. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Kevin, for joining us. And don't forget to subscribe to Adorama TV because it's absolutely free. We upload videos almost every single day by amazing contributors. And also turn on the bell so you get notifications and you don't miss a single thing. Thanks again for joining us, and I will see you again next time.